Let's get to work. Let's get to it.
It's time to do.
First thing that we're going to do, we're going to look into what is Gradio. Let's go over here. Gradio is an open source Python framework that simplifies the creation of interactive web interfaces for machine learning models, APIs, and Python functions. It allows users to quickly build and share demos and applications with a user-friendly web interface without needing extensive web development knowledge. What? So imagine prototyping some type of application in seconds, right? Let's say you know how to build, you're a backend coder, APIs and stuff like that, but your front end skills, they are to be desired. They're to be desired. They're maybe they're a little bit under fair. Maybe they're a little bit below average, but have no fear. Gradio is here. Key features and benefits of Gradio. Rapid prototyping. Gradio allows for quick development of interactive interfaces, making it ideal for prototyping and testing machine learning models and applications. Easy sharing. Gradio simplifies share. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Gradio simplifies sharing demos and applications with others by generating publicly accessible URLs according to a GitHub repository. User-friendly interface. Gradio provides a straightforward and intuitive way to build web interfaces, even for those without extensive web development experience. Versatile applications. Gradio can be used to create various types of applications, including chatbots, image processing tools, and data visualization dashboards. Open source and free. Free 99. Yes, free 99. Let's go.
Another one.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Let's see. Integration with other tools. Gradio can be integrated with popular machine learning frameworks and libraries such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Hugging Face transformers. All right. So I think I have to go back and revisit this Hugging Face transformers because it is a part of the class. But I don't know if I really caught on to it. So I'm gonna have to go revisit that. Maybe put that out as a software explorations concept and overview. Community support or customization. Gradio offers various customization options to tailor the interface to specific needs and preferences according to Pi. That is the Python. PyPy is a Python repository, I guess, of all their packages and stuff. Community support. Gradio has a strong and active community that provides support, tutorials, and resources for developers. In essence, Gradio empowers developers to bridge the gap between complex machine learning models and non-technical users by providing a simple and accessible way to build and share interactive web applications. Awesome. Wave Nerd says that he uses Hugging Face. I have heard it's part of the class, the Hugging Face, but I'm not too familiar with it yet. So I have to check it out to get a little. If I remember correctly, you know what? Let's just do this. Hugging Face. What is Hugging Face? Hugging Face. Hugging Face. Total Noob's intro to Hugging Face transformers. Let's see. Could I just get a summary? All right. What is Hugging Face Transformer? Hugging Face is an open source Python library that provides access to thousands of pre-trained transformer models for natural language processing, computer vision, audio tasks, and more. It simplifies the process of implementing transformer models by abstracting away the complexity of training or deploying models in lower level machine learning frameworks like PyTorch, TensorFlow, and JAX. Let me take a look at the course over here, the one that we're going through. I think that they have, at some point we're going to get to Hugging Face. Let's see. Oh, there you go. So when we finally get to week 3, hopefully it's not like next year, but when we finally get to week 3, open source Gen AI, building automated solutions with Hugging Face. All right, cool. So we do have Hugging Face coming up at some point. It might take us some time to get there though, because we're still on day 2. But once we finally get to day 3, we will start to get into Hugging Face. So shout out to that. You know what? Wave Nerd, I am 2 years behind you, but I'm working to catch up, or I am working to catch up.
Let's get it.
All right. With that being said, let's go back to over here. Go back to Gradio. So let's take a look at what is in the website for Gradio. Build and share delightful machine learning apps. Let's see. Quick start documentation. So a quick start. Creating a chatbot fast. Gradio. All right, so we have that. Looking at how this works. So markdown your fancy image generator. A row. Interesting. So me, being that I have web development experience, this hopefully this shouldn't be too complicated for me to pick up on. But markdown, row, text box, button, image. All right, enough talk. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do. So here's my plan for Gradio. Here is my plan for Gradio. You guys have seen, if you've been here, that we built out our content creation workflow generator over the past 3 weeks or so, or 3 months or so. And this is basically it, right? I am pretty much saying, I put in my description I give a rough idea of what the video is about, or what my live stream is going to be about. And then it throws out all of this, the title, the description, the keywords, the tags. And then I just copy and paste that into wherever it needs to go. So what we're going to do now, we're going to end up building UIs around those different things. So like what we did in week 1, what we did in week 2. So let's take a look at week 2. We're going to open up day 2. Make sure this is saved. All right, let's take a day 2. Gradio day. It is Gradio day. Let's go. So today we build user interfaces using the outrageously simple Gradio framework. Please note Gradio screens may appear in dark mode or light mode depending on your computer settings. All right, fair. So we're going to be importing all these libraries. So the OS for environment variables, we have the request library so we can do API requests. We have beautiful soup so that we can parse through content. We have typing I'm not sure what the typing list one is. .env to load the environment variables on our machine. OpenAI, of course, Google like Gemini, and we have Anthropic for Claude, and then we also have importing Gradio. So let's go ahead and let's run this one. Let's run till that, and we're gonna run import Gradio. So basically, what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna accomplish today is the very first project that we worked on was the web page summarizer. We are going to try to turn the web page summarizer. We're going to try to add a UI around the web page summarizer. That is our goal for today. Are we able to do it? We shall see. Let me see. Wave Nerd says, to be honest, they are not a factor anymore. Apple is releasing a vibe coding platform, Lovable Bolt UX pilot for UX. Wow, interesting. Well, at some point we are going to get to all of those platforms as well. Apple's releasing a vibe coding platform. That is interesting. That is very, very interesting. You want to know the interesting thing about that, Wave Nerd? So, in order for those platforms, Lovable Bolt, UX Pilot for UI and stuff like that, to empower people who might not have all the design, like the web development, or all those things that you need to do, they need highly skilled software engineers to build. You can't use vibe coding to build a vibe coding platform. Is what I would say in my mind. Is that true? I don't know. But I'm just thinking, like, in order to build a vibe coding platform, you need to have some really, really, really smart people to be able to put it together, because vibe coding, building vibe coding, building vibe coding, it just seems like a vibe inception. All right. Anyhow, let's get to it. We got my guy Rod Brown from the Nourishing Word in the building. It just gets to a point. I hear you, Rod Brown. I hear you. And you know what, Rod Brown, you are totally right. It does get to a point. The point that it gets to is, when are we going live? When are we going live? That's the point that it gets to. I'm just saying. I'm just asking for. All right, secretly, Rod Brown, Roxy wants to know, when are you going live, right? It's not even me. It's Roxy wants to know when you're going live, all right? So I'm asking for a friend, okay? All right. We imported that. Let's import Gradio. And this is load variables in a file called .env. Print the key. Let me hide this. Oops. All right. It says, all right. So let me make sure my. Let me make sure. I am confirming the name of my environment variables. So this one is called Gemini. API key. And this one is called Anthropic. And for good measure, I would just throw in my perplexity in there as well. Because we will probably need it at some point. Oops. All right. Let's go and do that. And all of these are good. Connect to OpenAI, Anthropic, and let me zoom in on this too. Connect to OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. Comment out Claude or Google Lines if you're not using them. So let's go ahead and connect. A generic system message. No more snarky adversarial AIs. What? I like the snarkiness, but okay, for now, we'll leave it as a helpful assistant. Let's wrap a call to GPT-4o Mini in a simple function. So right now we're just going through what's in the course, and then we're gonna expand it out to building our own, just so we can see how this works. All right. So, all right. So we have our system prompt. You guys know we have, so message to GPT. We have our system prompt where it is the context of the user. We have our prompt message that we're going to be passing in, and then we have our completion, which is going to return us the results of our AI request. So we know that these models are trained up to a certain date. So if we do, what is today's date? Shouldn't work. Let me see. Did I not run this? All right, run that. Let's see what date this model is trained up until. It is trained to October 4th, 2023. So this model that we're using from OpenAI, it's trained up to October 4th, 2023. I wonder if we use Perplexity, what it would say. It would have to say today's date, because Perplexity is almost in real time. All right, so let's get to. Here's a simple function. So this function is named shout, and it takes in text, and then it returns the text in uppercase. So if we run this, so by running hello, and then we have shout, or by running shout, and we have hello as our parameter that we're passing in, it should return us shout all in caps. There we go. Or it should return us hello all in caps. So we pass in the function shout, which is printing out. Shout has been called with input text, and then it's passing in the text here, and it's going to return the text in uppercase. So if we change this to good morning, Roxy, it's going to return to us in all in caps, good morning, Roxy. Okay, you don't have to scream good morning, okay? Next up, so now to start getting this Gradio interface, it says, so this is we're calling in the Gradio import that we did, and we're going to do gr.interface, and we're passing in the function of shout from what I'm understanding here, and we're going to have an input for text box. So if I'm understanding correctly, which I might not be, but if I'm understanding correctly, the interface is taking in the function shout. The function and inputs is a text box. So this input as a text box should be passing in this value right here. Output should be returning the return value right here, and to launch it. All right, so that is what I'm expecting. Let's go ahead and give it a run. And we have a text box here. We also have a URL that we can look at it at, but let's say we do Rod Brown needs to give a nourishing word live. And we submit that. What? Look at that. A quick and simple user interface. Now, I don't know how customizable this is, but if you want something that is very, very custom and things where you want it to be, you probably don't want to just be using Gradio or some other application. It's a prototype. Like, this is to prototype, not in my eyes right now. From what I'm seeing on my first day using it, it's a prototype, not to go into production with, but it's possible. So now if we want to see this in a standalone fashion, if I go to the URL and we say that, let's see, Wave Nerd is very knowledgeable on AI stuff. Submit. Bada bing, bada boom. Wave Nerd is very knowledgeable on AI stuff. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And if it says to create a public link, set share equals true and launch. So let's try that. Share equals. Let's run that again. And would you look at that? We have a public URL. Where we can see what we just built. How you like them apples? Let's see. Let's see. Good morning, world. Good morning, world. So I'm going to drop this link to you in the chat so that you can give it a try as well and see that through Gradio, it created this site that we can test it on, and you can quickly share with other people what you've been working on. All right, so that is pretty cool. So I'm gonna just drop this in the chat for you guys. built with Gradio in seconds. Check it out. Check it out.
Lunch break.
All right. So that is our first 20-minute segment. We're gonna take a quick break while we regroup and get to our second portion. It's gonna be quick. It is going to be quick. All right. With that being said, we have about 15 minutes left in today's show, so let's get back to work. I'll even put up a timer for this, so we can just because it's only 15 minutes left, all right? But let's get back to it. What I want to know is, can I give it a label? See, and this is how my mind starts to work. I start going off the reservation. Let me see. Is there a way for me to give it a label? Let me see. Gradio input label. Let's see. Documents. Input text label. Or let me see. Let's see if I was just to change this real quick to label equals capitalize this. Nope. Apparently that ain't it. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Did I forget a comma? Oh wait, what? Comma here. All right, there we go. Maybe it doesn't have label. All right, well, I'll figure that out. I will figure that out later as we get into this, because I don't want to waste time on this part. Anyways, all right, so there we go. We have that running. This link expires in 72 hours. Feel free for permanent hosting and GPU upgrades. Run Gradio deploy from the terminal in the working directory to deploy to Hugging Face spaces. Oh, I think I saw something about Hugging Face bought Gradio. Is that right, Wave Nerd? Did Hugging Face buy Gradio as well? Do they own Gradio? I don't know. Anyways, let's continue. Adding shared true. All right, so that's what we did. We did the shared true already. Adding in browser true opens up a new browser window automatically. Oh, okay. So if we do in browser, that means when we go like that. Okay, cool. So that way it'll automatically open up the window where we can work from there, as opposed to working from here, if that's what was our desire. Okay. Forcing dark mode. Gradio appears in light mode or dark mode depending on the system settings. And you can do this to force dark mode. I'm not going to do it. All right, I'll do it. Let's see. Okay, there he goes. No, I'm not overly concerned with that. Inputs and outputs. Okay, so there it goes. There goes the label I was looking for. Inputs, gr text box label, your message, and then the response. Put 6 lines of code. Let's do this one. There you go. So your message. So that's what I was looking to accomplish a little bit ago. But your message, your response. So let's say today is Monday, May 5th, 2025. Submit. Boom. Nice. I like it. So this is how we do the labels. So you put an array or a list, and inside of that list you have the text box, label your message. And I guess you can have multiple messages this way, or multiple input fields this way, I guess. Maybe separated by a comma. That's what I would suppose. Shot has been called. Today is Monday, May 5th, 2025. All right, got that. Now changing the function from shout to message underscore GPT. So now we're moving from having it do just a basic function of changing it from lowercase to uppercase to using our OpenAI function, which our OpenAI function takes in one parameter for the prompt, right? Let's see. So let's go ahead and run that. And it was just an assistant. So if I say, how can I get my friend Rod Brown from the Nourishing Word to go live on YouTube, Twitch, X, IG, or Instagram, the Gram, Facebook, Kick, any other streaming platforms that we can think of that we should have Rod Brown. Oh yeah, and upload as a podcast to Spotify. All right, so that is my message. And the response that we're going to get, oh, look at that processing time. That's pretty cool. Taking a sweet time. Wow, even Chat GPT doesn't know how to get how to get Rod Brown to go live. All right. Why isn't it in Markdown? Getting your friend Rod Brown from the Nourishing Word to go live on multiple platforms and upload to Spotify as a podcast involves several steps. Here's a detailed guide to help you through the process. Discuss the idea with Rod Brown. Have a conversation with Rod Brown about the idea of going live on multiple platforms. Highlight the benefits of reaching a wider audience and engaging with followers in real time. Choose the content. Select the right tools, streaming software. Let's see. Well, I guess we have a game plan. Set up the accounts. All right, well, there we go. There we have it. So technical setup, ensure Rod Brown has the necessary technology, a camera, a microphone, and lighting. Testing the stream setup before going live to avoid technical issues. Let's see. All right, there you have it, Rod Brown. There is your blueprint according to my application that is using Gradio, using the library, and ChatGPT. Says now, let's use Markdown. You're wondering why it makes any difference to set system message when it's not referred to in the code below. I'm taking advantage of system message being a global variable used back in the message GPT function. Not a great software engineer practice, but quite commonly during Jupyter Labs research and development. Let's see. So in the response, we can just put in Markdown as opposed to here, where it was just outputting as a text box. That's why we have all of the markdown code in there, but we can return it as markdown, and then it should look a lot better that way. So this system message is you are a helpful assistant that uses that responds in markdown. And we're going to be passing in the interface. So still using the function of message GPT. We're going to say text box with your message again, but the output now is going to be using markdown as opposed to using the output of text box. All right. So that way this is going to be converted from markdown into like an HTML type text. All right. Let's do that one. And I have another one. How can I get my dear friend Rock the Scrubs Roxy to do one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu course? There we go. So submit. Oh, look at that. It is now brought to us in Markdown. Easy to understand. No hashtags and stuff like that. There's a great chance to encourage your friend Rock the Scrubs Roxy to try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Here are some suggestions on how to motivate her to take a course. Share the benefits of Jiu-Jitsu. Check. Make it fun. Check. Offer support. Check. Use positive influences. Check. Encouragement of reassurance. Check. Celebrate the small wins. Yep. Provide logistics. Respect her decision. What? All right. That last one, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Bruh.
How am I supposed to be annoying if I am just respecting the wrong decision not to try a class, right? It's fine if she's really not interested, respect her choice. Sometimes people just aren't into certain activities, and that's okay. Unacceptable.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Being supportive and encouraging, you can help Rock the Scrub Roxy feel more comfortable with the idea of trying jiu-jitsu. Let's see. It is what it is. Let's Oh my goodness, you guys are too much. All right, let's create a stream that calls back results. If you'd like a refresher on generators, the yield keyword, please take a look at the intermediate Python notebook in week 1. All right, well, let's leave it at that for today. Let's leave it at that. We have just a couple of minutes left, but I am pretty impressed by the little that we did already. Like, I can already see us implementing this on top of our content creation workflow generator, and being able to quickly get our to generate this, get a copy button. So I don't have to go like this, right? I don't have to go like, oh, let me just copy all this stuff, right? I can just have a copy button, and I just say copy, and then I go into the application. I just paste it in there, and then we go from there, right? So I think it's going to be phenomenal. And as we continue to move on, we will get into more up-to-date software that is able to build these quick and easy UIs like we did with Gradio. We're probably going to look at the ones that Wave Nerd mentioned as well. And we will go from there. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to go back to full screen. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content. TechCoachRef.dev to sign up for the TechCoachRef Patreon, get access to exclusive content. I'm working on clipping up the meeting from last weekend where Magnetar showed us amazing details about the federal workforce, all of that good stuff, right? But yeah, so with that being said, let's jump right into working on this large language model stuff. All right, let me put up the banner for the show in case anybody is scrolling by like, oh wow, they're talking about large language models. I have an interest in that. Let me get familiar with that. Let me see, where is my banner? There goes that one, and let's do it. All right, Gradio for UIs. So on Monday, we started exploring, learning more about Gradio, where it's open source. Let me put up 20 minutes as well.
Let's go! Let's go!
Makes it a little bit easier to clip up these videos when I have take maybe a 1 minute break, 2 minute break in between these segments. But Gradio, it helps you create quick user interfaces based on your large language model. I'm sure I could do more, but I'm sure there's a lot more than just large language models. But from the little bit that we did with it on Monday, it is going to be super duper powerful. All right, let's get started. Let's jump in, and then I will give some more commentary as we are working on it. So there goes my trusty Jupyter notebook with the day 2, and the ultimate plan for this, though, the ultimate plan is as we get more familiar with Gradio, using whatever they're showing us in the course, then we're going to implement it onto part of the course of this day 2 is implementing it as part of the web page summarizer that we did and the brochure. But then we are going to use it for our content creation workflow. So if you guys remember, the content creation workflow that I did helps me with generate all my metadata for my video. So the description, the title, give you a title idea, the keywords, but I have to do it all through here. So I'm interested to see how will Gradio create for me a little UI that I can use to, streamline this instead of always having to go in here and copy and paste. Maybe I can have a copy button next to each of them so that I can just click copy, and then we're going to find out. We're going to find out what are our capabilities with Gradio. But let's jump into day 2. Let me zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it better. All right. Let's see. What is this? So this was the one from yesterday asking how can we get our dear friend Roxy to try jujitsu. But unfortunately, the last one was like, oh, just be supportive. Let her be. I'm like, all right, fine. Okay. Let's continue on with the course, right? So this part says, let's create a call that streams back results. So for those who are new here, streaming back results is if you've used ChatGPT before or any other large language model, I'm hoping that you have at least used it before. But the streaming is when you type in a question or you're looking for some type of response. The streaming is when it's progressively giving you the results. It doesn't just give you boom, here's the results. It's progressively streaming it back to you, in real time. That's what it means by stream back results. Because if you'd like a refresher on generators, the yield keyword, please take a look at the intermediate Python notebook in week 1. In the week 1 folder. All right. So this is saying define the function stream GPT, and you're going to pass in the prompt. So the prompt is what we're asking it to do. Good morning, Roxy. How are you doing today? Shout out to Roxy. Hopefully you are doing absolutely amazing. This is good morning to you. Good morning to you as well, Roxy. Perfect timing for this to hide the thing. Good morning, Roxy. Hopefully you are doing phenomenal. So happy to see you this morning. All right. So prompt is what we're asking it to do. So if we're like prompt, I need the formula to make the most amazing ribeye steak, right? So that's what you'd be passing into the prompt. And the system message, for those who don't remember, the system message would be the role that you want, your LLM to take, right? So the system message would be, you are a master chef at a 5-star restaurant. All right. So that's why the system message is here, and we're setting it like from way above, and then the prompt is being passed into right here. So we're setting the system message outside. You could technically also do something like this, where you're passing in the system message, and you'd be saying, all right, I want to define my system message and I want to define my prompt. But for the most case, you're going to have the system message already defined. If you're building something where a user can define it, you could probably set that parameter globally, and the user can input it, and then it'll be throughout. So many ways around it. This is all through code. You can do all this, right? So we're building out the message body, and we're passing in the system context for and the system message, and then we're passing the user context for the prompt that we're going to be asking. Here we're saying to stream OpenAI, and chat completion create, and stream equals true. And then this is the part that always is always tricky to me, where you are. I think they should simplify this code right here, but they're saying result equals, and the result is blank, and this is for chunk in stream. So what's being returned in the stream? So chunk. So when it's returning, it's just going to be providing you like in blocks, right? So they're saying in the stream response, which it's like returning as a list, do chunk, and then now for chunk choices, delta dot content. So maybe we'll print that out, right? And then your results. Let's see. So now let's go ahead and run that. Let's run this, right? Now, if we look at, so now this is going to be building the Gradio interface. So view equals gr dot interface, and we're passing in the function of stream underscore GPT, and the input is going to be, so the input for, so this is right here, it's considered the input for the function of stream GPT. And we're going to be passing in, and we're going to be taking it as a text box with the label of your message. And then the output is going to be the in markdown format of response. All right. Flagging mode never. What is flag? I forgot what flagging mode never is. Let's do a quick research on that. What is flagging mode in Gradio? Flagging mode controls whether how the user can report issues or inaccuracies in your application's output. It's a mechanism for gathering feedback and identifying potential problems with your model or application. When a user sees an interesting or problematic output, they can flag it, and Gradio will store the input-output data for review. Interesting. Let's see. So we have flagging mode. So our options are how it works. Gradio provides a flag button with the interface, which users can click to report an issue. By default, when a user flags an input and output, Gradio saves it to a CSV file on the machine where the demo is running. Interesting. So one thing about Gradio as well is that you can make a public URL. I think it lasts about 24 to 72 hours. And other people can access your Gradio sample that you did. Let's see. All right, so it's a CSV file. You can customize the flagging behavior by passing a flagging callback instance of the flagging callback parameter of the interface constructor. This allows you to control how flag data is handled, such as saving it to a database or sending it to a different location. So you can, how you store it. Gradio supports different flagging modes. There's manual. Users can flag an input and output by clicking the flag button. Auto, every user input and the generated output will be automatically flagged, saving them to a CSV. So if you want to track data, then users cannot flag anything. You can also specify custom flagging options like, for example, like, spam, inappropriate, using the flagging option parameter, allowing the user to provide more specific feedback. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You'll see on certain websites where you can decide like, oh, like or spam or inappropriate, especially on the response for these large language models. Let me say good morning to my guy, AR Smitty. What's up, AR Smitty? How are you doing today? And Roxy says that she is vacationing. Well deserved, well deserved, well deserved. All right. So with that knowledge about what the flagging mode is, let's go back into. Oops, this is where we're at. Let's go back into this flagging mode over here, and let's run this. So when running Gradio, it is going to run it on an available open port on your machine. So we have. So if I click here, it's going to open up in a new browser. Probably what these are over here. Let me close some of these out. So it does it in two spots. Here, your message, and you can submit, clear, and also if we click over here, it will have it available for us here as well. So if we say that your message is, I need the best rib eye recipe, and I do submit, you see how our response is being streamed through here. And certainly here's a delicious and simple ribeye steak recipe that highlights the flavor and tenderness of the meat, and gives us all the details for that amazing ribeye steak. Medium rare, 130 to 135. Sounds perfect to me. And medium is 135 to 140. I don't know. I think 145 is borderline sinning. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's continue. Let's see. Does it show up here? No. So, and we can also do the same thing here. Who makes? I'm not gonna do that. Who makes the best curry chicken? Let's see, who makes the best curry chicken? The term curry chicken can refer to a dish made by various cultures and cuisines around the world. So it isn't specific to one maker or establishment. Different regions have their own unique recipes and variations. Here are a few examples: Indian cuisine, Caribbean cuisine, Southeast Asian cuisine, Chinese cuisine. And it describes like all the different styles. So, and you can be like, oh, okay, let me see how the Indians make it, with the variety of spices, tomatoes, and yogurt or cream. Usually it can be very, very spicy. Caribbean cuisine. In the Caribbean, especially in countries like Jamaica, curry chicken is made with curry powder, allspice, and often features ingredients like coconut milk, scotch bonnet peppers. It is a staple dish in many Caribbean homes and restaurants. Southeast Asian cuisine. In countries like Thailand and Malaysia, the curry chicken might include coconut milk, lemongrass, and various herbs, differing significantly in taste and preparation. And Chinese cuisine, the Chinese make it as well. Some Chinese restaurants offer a version of curry chicken that typically includes curry sauce with vegetables. Interesting. All right, cool. So look how this quickly creates a nice looking UI where we can prompt it in here, and then we have an output and it's in streaming mode right here. So that's really cool. Let's see. So this one is streaming with Claude. And Roxy says, all right, hold up. Hey. Roxy says that the large language model is wrong. Says, Roxy makes the best curry chicken in the world. She might be right. Are you saying yours is very spicy, or are you saying the ones that we're reading about the Indian curry chicken or chicken curry is very spicy? Which one is very spicy? Is it yours, or is it the ones that the Indian cuisine? Because I'll tell you a quick story, right? I had a friend, or I still have this friend, to be fair. I still have this friend, but she was like, oh yeah, you should try this Indian restaurant. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I went over there, and I'm ordering, and I got the biryani rice. This is like has to be like almost 10 years ago, maybe more. Maybe more than 10 years ago. So I get the biryani rice, and they asked me what level of spiciness do you want, and I'm like I don't know, what's the levels? It says between 1 and 5. I said okay. I'm guessing like 1 is not spicy at all, and 5 is like the most spicy. I say, you know what? Meet me in the middle. Give me a 3. I'm telling you that after I took my first bite, I felt like I was breathing fire. You remember how Dylon, like the 5 best rappers, Dylon, because I spit hot fire. I felt like I was spitting hot fire because that biryani rice was so spicy. That's what happened. That is what happened. Roxy says that her chicken curry is very spicy. Uh-oh. I don't know about that.
Do not come.
I don't know if I can handle that, Roxy. I don't know if I can handle that spice. All right. Let's continue on. Let's see. So this one says for Stream Claude, and we are using. So this one says results equals Claude.messages.stream using the Claude 3 Haiku model from 2024. Max tokens 1,000. I'm gonna reduce that real quick. I'm not trying to have them use all my tokens up. I'm gonna reduce that to like 2. Let's go to 250. 250. Right. So we're passing in the system message. We're passing in the prompt. Raw user content. Claude sets up or Anthropic sets up their system message a little bit different than OpenAI does. If we look at over here. OpenAI sets up inside the whole message array. They have the system for like the raw system content, and then for the prompt. So it's all inside one array. However, with Anthropic, they have it where the system is outside of the message. So inside the message row is just the user prompt that you're passing in. And then here, response results as stream for text in stream, dot text stream response, and you're adding to the text or if it's empty. All right, so let's go ahead and do one for Anthropic for Claude. So let me set this one. And we're going to go and we're going to build our UI for Anthropic, and let's go with let's see another I don't know why I keep asking about food today. Maybe I woke up hungry. What is where did the hamburger originate from? And we submit. The hamburger, and in case you didn't know about this, right? The hamburger is not called the hamburger because it contains ham, because the hamburger contains beef, right? But the hamburger is believed to have originated in Germany, specifically in the city of Hamburg. Believe it or not. Here's a brief history of the hamburger's origin. Hamburg steak, the earliest known precursor to the modern hamburger, was the Hamburg steak, which was popularized in the 19th century. This was a dish of ground beef that was seasoned and formed into patties, then fried or broiled. German immigrants to the United States. In the late 19th century, German immigrants brought the Hamburg steak with them when they came to the United States. These immigrants helped to introduce and popularize the dish in America. So now, how did we get to the actual buns on the burger? That's what I want to know. So the first hamburger, the exact origin of the first true hamburger is a matter of debate, but it generally believed to have been created in the late 19th or 20th or early 20th century. Several individuals and establishments have been credited with inventing the modern hamburger, including Louis Layson of Louis Lunch in New Haven, Connecticut, and Charlie Negreen of Seymour, Wisconsin. Interesting. That is very interesting. So I'm guessing that they were the first They're being credited with being the first to put on the buns on the hamburger. And look, where's the rest of the answer? Where's the rest of the answer? Oh, okay. That's because I limited my tokens to 250, and Claude said, "All right, well, you want 250 tokens? This is what you're gonna get. If the popularization and commercialization, and as the hamburger gain, and then that's all for you. No more soup for you." I can live with that. I can live with that. All right. Let's continue on. So, all right, let's see. So, minor improvement. I've made a small improvement to the code. Previously, it had for chunk and result yield chunk. There's actually, I remember I was saying there's a better way to do it.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Well, we will pick up from here after we take about a 1 to 2 minute break to see what is going on. All right. That way we have a good separation in the show. All right. So we've learned about steak. We've learned about, and I would say that is not the best way to cook a perfect steak. I'm just going to say that, but it is what it is. We learned about steak. We learned about curry chicken, the different regions of the world, different cultures that make curry chicken. Shout out to Roxy being the best curry chicken in the world. And we learned a little bit about the history of hamburgers before Claude cut us off.
Bruh.
Let's continue on let's get back to it. We have 15 minutes. Let's continue on with the show. Let's wrap up these 15 minutes of work. All right, let's get back. Quick little break. All right, let's see. So there's actually a more elegant way to achieve this, which Python people might call more Pythonic, yield from results. I'm not familiar with that. I cover this more in detail in the intermediate Python notebook in week 1 folder. Take a look if you'd like more. I will check that out. Shout out to my guy, Wave Nerd, in the building. Shout out to you, Wave Nerd. Good morning. How are you doing today?
We the best.
All right. So let me see. Stream model. Sorry, they're adding more to this. Let's go to, I want to take a quick look at that yield thing that they're talking about in week 1. Week 1, intermediate. Did I ever open this? Maybe I never opened this. Getting you up to speed. This course assumes that you're an intermediate level of Python. For example, you should have a decent idea what something like this might do. You know what, to be fair, I never really understood yield that much. So I should definitely go back and revisit it. I know I learned it, but I never really, I don't use it much. Yield from book.getAuthor for books and books if books is get author. Okay. If not, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the crash course in intermediate level Python. The best way to learn is by doing. I just want to know what the yield is. Let's see. Trying to jump to the yield. We looked at that. I don't know. I'll follow up on the yield later on. Looking through this didn't really help much. But let's continue with this. All right. So let's see. I covered this more in detail. All right. We got that. So this is saying define stream model. So you're putting the prompt and the model. So this is similar to what I have in here, where I'm able to say which one I want to use, which LLM I want to use, and what's my prompt. And we are passing, if the model is GPT, then we're doing the stream underscore GPT. If it is Claude, then we're passing in the stream Claude. And if we don't pass anything, or if we don't put, well, you kind of do need something in there. But if you don't put if you put a different random name, then we are going to get an error. So it's yield from results. So let's give it a try. And we are here. It says view So we're gonna build this interface, and basically it's the same thing. But oh, look at that! There's a drop down associated now. So drop down GPT or Claude, add label, select model, and I guess by default it's gonna be defaulting to GPT, and then the same response. All right, so let's do that. Let's open this in a new browser. Your message. So because they have this in a drop down, let me see. Can I type something? Oh, okay, maybe I can type something. Let's see. So by default it has GPT selected, and let's go with your message of what message should we put in here? How fast can a Tesla go? Let's see. So, all right. So it gives us Tesla Model S up to 200 miles an hour, Model 3 up to 162, Model X 163, Model Y 155. These speeds can vary based on driving conditions, software updates, yada yada. All right. So now we can go to this Claude over here and change the model, and we can say let's go for how is bacon made? I'm not sure if I don't know if I should ask that question, but we're here now. Bacon is a type of salt cured pork that is typically smoked. Here's a brief overview of how bacon is made. Pork belly selection. The process starts with selecting high quality pork bellies. I absolutely love pork belly, which are the fattier part of the pig inner side. Curing. Pork bellies are cured using a combination of salt, nitrates, and sometimes other seasoning like sugar, pepper, or spices. The curing process helps to preserve the meat, enhance the flavor, and develop a characteristic of pink color of the bacon. Then you can smoking optional, slicing, packaging, distribution, stuff like that. Let's see. Wave Nerd says, ask what dev positions are going to be the most valuable in the AI age. Why certainly. So before I do that though, let me just want to try something out. So if I was to say, let me see if I just type in Gemini, what would happen if it's going to give me an error. Oh, maybe it won't even let me. Because if I click, let me see. Let's see what happens. Oh, it reverts back to Claude. Okay. I was just trying to see if I was to type something in here, if it's only going to select one of these, which it is. All right. So let me take Wave Nerd's question, and we're going to go with what dev positions are going to be the most valuable in the AI age. There you go. So what ChatGPT is telling us is that in the AI age, machine learning, design and implement machine learning models, algorithms, data processing, model evaluation, data science or data scientists, AI research scientists. So what does an AI research scientist do? So conduct research to develop new algorithms and approaches in AI, deep understanding of machine learning theories, mathematics, and often requires a PhD in a related field. Interesting. Well, research scientist does kind of require a PhD, but for AI, that's interesting. AI ethics consultants. Ethics? What? Ensure AI systems are designed and used ethically, addressing biases and fairness. What? Skills, understanding ethical implications, policy making, and regulatory knowledge. Natural language processing and NLP engineer. Build systems that understand and interpret human language. Skills, expertise in linguistics, machine learning, and programming languages. AI product engineer, DevOps engineer for AI. DevOps engineer for AI. That's interesting. Focus on the deployment and maintenance of AI models in production. Knowledge of cloud services, CI/CD pipelines, and software development practices. Interesting. Robotics engineer, design and build robots that incorporate AI to perform tasks like my vacuum robot. Let's see. AI software developer, develop software applications that utilize AI techniques, strong programming skills and understanding of AI techniques. So now my question is the AI software engineer considered a vibe coder? Or is the AI software developer the person who builds the platforms for the vibe coders? I don't know. Blockchain developer for AI. And so, I mean, there's a lot of roles. However, based on what Bozito Coding Journey asked me yesterday about AIQ engineer, it did not make the list over here. Maybe it's a different thing. Let's see. Is there such thing as an AIQA engineer? Oops, submit. Yes, there is such a role as AIQ engineer. The role combines the principles of quality assurance with artificial intelligence technologies. Here are some aspects of the AIQ engineer. Look at that, I stand corrected. Testing AI models, evaluate. So remember I said like the way that I could see it is if you are building AI models. So that's what I said yesterday. Like if you are actually working on building the large language models, there needs to be some form of testing and validation for it. But for any random company having an AIQ engineer, that's hard for me to see that happening. Let's see. So evaluate the performance of machine learning models, ensuring they meet expected criteria and performance benchmarks. Data quality validation, ensure the training data used for AI models is accurate, relevant, and free from biases which can adversely affect model outcomes. Automated testing, develop and implement automated test scripts and frameworks specifically tailored for AI applications. Performance evaluations, compliance and ethical standards, required skills, technical proficiency. So if you are interested in learning more about if you're interested in being a QA engineer and you see that the shift is towards AI, this is telling you, look, AI is telling you what you need in order to be able to work proficiently with it to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. So technical or skills required, technical skills, proficiency with programming languages, Python or Java and others. Fact, agree with that. Familiarity with AI/machine learning frameworks, TensorFlow, PyTorch. That means that on our list, we need to start getting more familiar with TensorFlow and PyTorch because we're integrating with the large language models, but in order to, we need to get more familiar with these frameworks. So TensorFlow, PyTorch, it's on our list of things to do. Testing expertise, knowledge of software testing methodologies and tools, particularly those relevant to AI systems. Statistical analysis, understanding a statistical concept to validate models, predictions, and performance. Now, I wonder if I should have took statistics in high school instead of calculus, all right? Problem solving, ability to identify issues in AI outputs and troubleshoot effectively. So as AI technologies become more prevalent, the need for specialized QA engineers who understand how to assess the quality and reliability of AI systems is growing. This is crucial for ensuring that AI applications deliver accurate results and do not perpetuate biases or errors. So that is pretty interesting. Shout out to my guy Wave Nerd who took us down this rabbit hole. Shout out to Wave Nerd. Let's see. Let's go back to here. Building a generator, building a company brochure generator. You know how. It's simple. So we have 3 minutes left in the show today. So what we're going to do on Monday, we will be back and we will be working on turning this brochure into a turning this brochure into a we're gonna add a UI around the brochure, right? So we're gonna make it look nice. Let's see, a class representative. So let's just start reading it a little bit, but we're gonna dive deep into it on Monday. So the class for website, which we did before, it's let's see. We might have to go and revisit that project to see. I don't remember all the details of the project, so we might have to revisit it. And then, so we'll read the instructions from Monday or from week 1, day 5 to see how we built the brochure. And then we'll come back over here and we will implement a UI using Gradio for this, right? But I see the code, but I don't remember all the details about it. So that'll be the plan for Monday. So from the brochure, company name, URL. I think we put the company name, we put the URL to their website, and then it's supposed to build the brochure for us. So, and I'll throw in Gemini on. Actually, yeah, I'll throw in Gemini on this too. Maybe even Perplexity to get like more recent information. But let's leave it as that for today. Let's go to because with only like less than 2 minutes to go, we're not gonna get far. So we're gonna leave it there. All right. Do me a favor on your way out if you haven't done so already. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If you aren't new here, like the video, share the video with a friend. And yeah, so let's do that. Hit the notifications so you know every time we go live and drop new content. TechCoachDrive.dev, get access to amazing information. Get access to a group of people who are learning, working so hard together. Something that I recommended to Bozito Coding Journey yesterday was, in order to build to simulate some type of real experience, find somebody who is building something and join with them so that you can work on providing the testing for it. So I'm always looking for people who are interested in learning how to do software development, and then pairing them with people who are learning how to do software testing so that you can learn together and build amazing products. All right. Let's see. All right. So that is it. Wave Nerd with the thumbs up. Thank you so much, Wave Nerd. Thank you so much to everybody who was here. You guys have an amazing day. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
They said I wouldn't make it, they laughed at my dream. Every move I made felt like swimming upstream. But yesterday I met a fan, eyes full of belief. In their gaze I saw the end to my grief.
Doubt didn't win, trust began. Looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I saw myself alive. I put in all the hours, climbed out from the dirt. They dissed and dismissed, said I'd always get hurt. Met a fan so loyal, reflections don't lie. My biggest supporter is just me in my mind.
Through the noise and shadows I held my ground. Bumps, bruises, broken, no comfort found. But that fan smile turned my world around. Now I'm rising sky high above the sound.
Doubt didn't win and trust I began. When I looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.